And top of the morning to you. This is Newsline Live. We're broadcasting from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And once again, just as we thought we're coming back to work, late in the evening last night, pretty close to midnight, we were told that the government have declared a 3-day holiday. Well, to discuss this and matters surrounding that, we've got the spokesperson from the GMOA in Sri Lanka, Dr. Samantha Anand, with us this morning, live right here in the studios in Dawson Street. Very good morning to you, Dr. Samantha.
Good morning.
And thank you very much for turning up here. How bad is the situation?
Well, things are getting a bit complicated. Like the numbers are increasing, the incidents are increasing.
Yeah.
Therefore, the whole focus of the experts are driven towards corona actually. Of course, if you take health as a whole, there are other problems as well.
Yeah.
It's not only corona.
Correct.
But at the moment, the whole focus of the health sector is driven towards the coronavirus because it has become pandemic. And Sri Lanka is becoming a victim of that. So therefore, we have to work vigilantly, and efficiency and the correct decisions and everything matters. Therefore, the health, not only the health sector, the other stakeholders, and of course we are leading the game, but with the collaboration of all the other stakeholders, I think Sri Lanka is moving fast to control this so-called community transmission. If that happens, I think it will become a bit of a complicated situation and the people might face difficulties.
So the situation is getting serious, it's getting complicated, as you say, and it is only around midnight that we get a notification that there's a holiday for 3 days at that. How responsible is that?
No, it's like this now.
Well, I mean, my point is this. You gave yourselves, the country, a holiday on one day, on Monday, yeah? Presumably to take stock. Surely you have must have a regard for all these people. For example, some people who work in Colombo, they set off pretty early in the morning, right? Pretty early in the morning. They're not up at midnight. They're fast asleep, wondering, you know, whether they too will get infected and gone through all sorts of things going on in people's minds. And then you have the government, big word, government, who say at midnight. I see that the people from our company have sent this message to us around midnight, which is only when they learnt it. So they were quick off the mark. But how responsible is it?
Yeah, now when we take it as a whole, like I see it still positive. Yeah. Because now GMO is the first
are you positive because it's something better than nothing?
Exactly, that is the word that I wanted to mention. Like, you know, early in the yesterday in the morning, GMO, the expert committee, gathered and we studied the world situation, how this disease progressed in other countries. Yeah. And we, of course, studied the way that they handled the situations. Yeah. The positive things that they took over the days, and the mistakes that they made, and especially Italy. And the consequences that faced by the people and the country and the world, of course, because as a country now we can't be responsible only for the country. Now it's a pandemic, so therefore we are responsible, we are answerable to the world. Yeah. So therefore we gathered the experts and we decided, we understood the epidemiological, the progress of the disease. Carefully, scientifically, with the statistics, when we analyzed, we understood that it's high time to, you know, act vigorously. Therefore, we wrote to His Excellency and requested to extend this, the holiday, the one-day holiday as you mentioned, further. And also we requested to close down the airport as well. You know, as a trade union, we are we understand the gravity of these decisions.
Yeah.
But still, at the end of the day, life are important than any other thing.
But you say that, I say it, they say it. But does government say that? Or are they only worried about one thing? The nominations. Isn't that what this is all about? You know, they want their nominations to happen by hook or by crook, and, you know, to hell with the people.
Yeah, probably. It's like this now. We are professionals.
Yeah.
We are holding a responsibility, and more than that, we have a obligation to the country as professionals to take care about the citizens. So when it comes to that level, we have no affiliation, we have no soft corner towards politics or politicians. We don't care what politicians think and how they think about their survival. Therefore, we gave the maximum pressure from our side to extend this holidays and to minimize the community closeness, like mobilization.
It's a bit like the tsunami. Not many people knew about tsunami in this country. So even after the first wave, you had people who were actually going to the beach to look at this phenomenon. But now they know. If we now have such a thing, people aren't going to go back. Yes. They're going to run the other way and get to safer, higher ground. So it's a bit like that with COVID-19. Except in that this time, on this instance, we know how it's planning out.
Yes.
And there's no point doing it in piecemeal.
Yes.
There are enormous implications for all sorts of things. Businesses can't run properly and so on and so forth. But isn't this the short term? Isn't this what they're doing? Isn't this a short-term fix? Because what do you expect to do? Now, everybody, do you expect them to come to work on Friday?
No, I agree with most of your concerns.
Yeah.
Actually, we have time. Like now, they set the holidays until Thursday. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, we have 3 days time to think and see and analyze the situation, the progression, the escalation, and everything, and the preparedness internally, in-house preparedness to be strengthened. So while doing all these things, of course, the epidemiological unit is there in Sri Lanka and the quarantine unit is there.
What does the epidemiology unit say then?
No, epidemiology unit is basically based on this WHO guidelines, I mean the World Health
Organization. Shouldn't we be doing what they say? Because this is a health issue and they should know.
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, you know, epidemiology unit is not only the body who takes the decisions. There are stakeholder meetings, like, you know, expert meetings where other stakeholders as well involved in this decision making process. So therefore, I think this decision, I'm sure, must have discussed along, and I'm happy that at least at the end of at the last moment they have still taken the decision. So having agreed with you for certain concerns, that taking the decision late and, you know, informing it at late night and all these things are concerns, but still as professionals, as doctors, we think declaring that is a wise decision.
Accepting with the caveat that they could have done something earlier. But why 3 days? Isn't it better to shut it down for 2 weeks?
We ask for 1 week and reanalyze the situation. I'm sure 3 days will not enough, and probably on Thursday night or on Thursday they might need to take.
You mean on Friday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning? They'll say, yeah, right, we'll have another day. As it is, most Sri Lankans will agree with what I'm saying because they know it's true, which is this. When there's a long weekend coming along, and, you know, you've been off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday is a holiday, you are not turning up for work on Friday.
Yeah.
Most business owners and factory operators and all of them, they know this is like the bane of the world, if you like, because they know it's not going to happen. And what is the point of, I was following something on Twitter,
Yeah.
and they said, there's a chap there who says, there's no point closing the market, as in the stock market, for one day. Better to close it for a month. Maybe that's extreme.
Yeah.
But it's almost reflective of what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you're saying is, look, we asked for a week, at the lastminute.com, they said, okay, we'll give you 3 days. So you're not fully happy, but you are happy.
Yes, because we can buy the time, isn't it? Like we can create dialogues. Like we can.
But is that
we can,
what this is all about? Is it all about buying time?
well, not yeah, buying time for various things. Of course, we need time. The internal mechanism should be strengthened, no doubt about it. And there are certain things that we have to study, and the logistics and the human resources and the awareness and so on and so on. So many things that Sri Lanka need to do at this moment. So therefore, the most important thing, which I want to highlight, is that the responsibility of whole this scenario lies on the hands of public. So we as professionals and the government, the prime duty is to facilitate our citizens to take the correct decisions. So at least these 3 days will give them a room to stay at their own homes and minimize the mobilization, which definitely will help to reduce the transmission. So we must stop this community transmission. That is our prime aim.
And these 3 days doesn't mean that people must get into buses and trucks and cars and go off on trips.
Oh yes, I kindly request from our fellow citizens, please act responsibly, because this is exactly what happened to Italy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's your camera over there. You say it to the camera, so you're talking to the people now.
Yes. I humbly request from the citizens of our country, our fellow citizens, that this is the moment that our responsibility comes to the role. I mean, we have to play a responsible duty. We have to do a responsible duty to protect ourselves and the country as a whole. So therefore, we have to act responsibly. We have to keep our disciplines in a higher level to stop transmission, to stop this disaster creating a situation similar to Italy. That is, this is what happened exactly in Italy. Irresponsibility, late decisions, taking it lightly has created so many problems in Italy. Mind you, it has been paid by lives of the people. The consequences are not light as we thought. Therefore, I again request from the fellow citizens to act responsibly. Stay at your homes, don't go out. Trips and all the other leisure activities, please postpone them, because this is life and death issue.
Thank you. A very important message, that, isn't it, really? Now then, what are we going to do? What can the people do? Is there any counter medicines they can take?
Yes, there are so many things that we can do. Like, before we comes to the medicine, there are certain things that we can do to prevent getting the virus in.
Like,
if you go out, if you are moving outside, please make sure that you wash your hands, because the most dangerous way, I mean the most possible way of transmitting this disease is that you are touching the places where the virus is there, from the droplets, and you are touching your nose or eyes or some where the entries to the body. So it's very, very important making sure that your hands are clean, and don't touch your face area, the mouth and other areas where the disease, the virus can enter your body. That is one most important thing. Secondly, you should stop going outside, stop socializing, stop going to the public places, stay home as much as possible. That is second thing. Third thing, which is very, very important, this is where today we are facing the problem, that if you have symptoms, if you have any contacts with the persons who come from these countries, or if the persons who had this disease, please make sure that you inform this to the health sector. There are PHI, public health inspectors, public health medical officers, and the hospitals, doctors are there who are willing to help you all, who are ready to help you all, but we need the informations. We need we need to know that people are vulnerable or at risk. So if you declare that to us, we know how to handle the situation, taking care of your life and the life of the others.
And Dr. Wright, you've told us the preventive action that you can take. What is the cure? What happens if you're identified as having the virus? How do they treat you?
Yeah, actually I should declare that there is no specific medicine is being invented yet to treat this condition. But having said that, I need to say that the severity of this infection is not that high. The percentage of mortality is around 1 to 2% at the moment.
Is it higher than SARS, lower than SARS?
Lower than SARS, much lower than SARS. Yes, it was around 10%, 10 to 12%.
Why does it then appear that we are the world is almost in panic mode about this?
Yeah, that is,
why is that?
Is one of the important questions. Yeah, if the mortality rate is less, if the severity is less, why you worry?
Exactly.
Yes.
So why?
Because it is highly contagious. It spreads like anything. Now, if you see, within these 2.5 months, it has infected, I mean, it has closed down the whole world. The humans, so-called brainy and technologically high, are being in a panic situation by a small virus. So it is so much of spreading and contagious. At the same time, if you take 1 to 2%, that is percentage wise. But if the numbers are high, that 1 to 2%, if you take in numbers wise, the counts are high. Now it's I think it's close to 5,000 deaths now in the world. So because the incidents are high, although the mortality rate is low, the numbers are increasing.
Right.
And there are a lot of complications are happening. Economy is getting, so many other consequences.
Is it also, Doctor, the way that we get our news now? During the height of SARS, I don't know how many WhatsApp users were there and how many Facebook users are there. But today they're at astounding levels, at very, very high levels. So everybody, everywhere. The other day I needed a copy of a document, and I was a bit mindful that the person I was speaking to was nearly 70 years old, and this person said to me, can I send it by WhatsApp to you? I nearly fell off my seat because I didn't expect him. So is it part of this issue, the way we get our news?
You very correctly said this is becoming a problem, because there are so many false news and informations are being spreaded through this social media, so-called social media. People are acting irresponsible way that they are not verifying the informations. That is why we have created the reliable sources of getting informations. Like in Health Ministry, we have given the hotline to ask for. But I'm sorry to say that the Facebook is acting irresponsible way, where they are not doing their duty. Probably they want to give the message as soon as possible to the others, but the validity, the credibility of that message should be verified. Am I correct? Like,
Yes, yeah.
So therefore, as you said, the technology has reached beyond the ages. It doesn't now even 7 8
people, again, it's back to this whole thing about the people acting responsibly. It's just like the March the 12th declaration urges people to think before they vote, because that voting card or sheet of paper is your ticket to making your country better. We can't stop telling you enough of times that this is extremely critical. So it's like that. Even when you're forwarding stuff on Facebook or retweeting and so on, you must know for yourself that this is true.
Yes.
Otherwise, there's no good saying forwarded as received. That's not acceptable. That's the lazy, sitting in your do-nothing seat way. No, you must be a bit more proactive.
Exactly. And the other thing that now, yesterday when I was moving around Colombo, what I have seen now, yesterday was a holiday, and I have seen that in restaurants, people gather having coffee and probably, associating, but I think that should be restricted.
Networking should be stopped for the moment.
Definitely. The social distancing should happen. You have your own house and your own family. Take care of them. Stay at home, because you may be the culprit of infecting your loving. So therefore, you should not take the responsibility of infecting others. So stay at home. That is very important at this moment, because then we can stop this transmission. So having said that, this responsibility of this social media and other means of information transferring, being at home, like, minimizing the social mobilization is also very important at this moment, because we know how this disease spreads. We know how it has caused problems to other countries.
As a citizen of the country, as a citizen of Sri Lanka, citizen Samantha Ananda, forgetting that you're a doctor, but
Yes.
as a citizen, do you really care whether nominations happen now, or do you care more about the control of this virus?
Nomination, what nominations? Like, we don't care whether this politicians elected or not at this moment, because country is running, citizens are living. I mean, there is no problem by postponing this. So we don't, true that it is our right of voting and correcting the people, electing the people, but this moment, the most important thing is not the election, of course. Nomination, you can delay, no problem, like, why we worry about it?
Yeah.
There are a lot more things to consider rather than...
So nominations is a luxury, considering what is going on now.
Not for us, of course, probably for
them.
them.
Yes. So the critical thing is controlling this pandemic.
Of course, there is no doubt about it. So therefore, politicians should, I think, we as a GMOA, we always take the correct decisions and we stand for our decision. So therefore, we will take any decision, any step to stop this disease to our level best. I mean, we will put the maximum pressure to the political decision makers to take the right decisions.
To act more responsibly?
Yeah, well, yeah, responsibility is, they carry it, right? It's
yes, but do you want to see them acting on a scale with greater responsibility?
Definitely, yes. Definitely, yes.
Now, probably a frustrated legal student sent us this message. They're asking whether everyone says the holiday is till Thursday. Does it include Thursday?
Yes.
So the holidays are today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Currently, come to work on Friday. That's what it is, right?
Currently, yes.
Currently. But bear in mind that our responsible politicians will probably wait until 11:59, 23:59 on Thursday night to tell you to come to work or not. I think the people need to be more responsible than that. Now then, tell me, once this happens, somebody's contracted it. We're going into a little bit of extended time here on Newsline. Tell me, once somebody has been diagnosed as having COVID-19,
yes,
how are they treated?
Well, at the moment we have established a better system in Sri Lanka. Like we have selected IDH, hospital as the focal point, and they are all the patients who comes to who's diagnosed. We have asked them to transfer to the IDH,
Yeah.
and IDH is making ready with the ICU facilities and the dialysis facilities and other means, if in case a patient get complications, to handle treat the patient.
Yeah.
At the same time, we have selected 18 hospitals around the country,
Right.
and those hospitals are being, some of them of course now ready to accommodate the patients, where Polonnaru is already treating the patients, Karapiti are treating the patients, and other hospitals are, I am sure by now they are ready to accept the patients and start treatments. And at the moment we are looking for other hospitals, the possible hospitals where we can utilize in case of escalating the situation. If the number of patients are increasing, we cannot handle them only with these 18 hospitals. So we may need to acquire more hospitals.
Why is the private sector hospitals being left out of this?
No, it is actually based on the experts' opinions. Like,
Right,
there are, when you have a communicable disease which is spreading, it is not endemic now, it's a pandemic now.
Yeah.
So therefore, there are scientific ways of handling these kind of situations.
Which the private hospitals are not capable of?
That is not the case, because this contact tracing and keeping these patients with there is a system called surveillance system.
Right.
So we need to keep them under the surveillance system.
You mean the government needs to be in control of this?
It should happen.
Must happen.
Must happen, because otherwise, if you imagine a situation, if we miss a patient,
Yeah.
and he goes to the community, and he will be spreading. This is what has happened in the other countries where the numbers are high. So therefore, the epidemiology unit is in the view that it should be under the government control, and I respect that decision because I know the technical part of it. So the people, I request humbly to believe on us, believe on the experts, and help on those
There's
decisions.
one thing to be said. I know this from personal experience, that the service, the medical care at the national hospitals, when it comes to handling emergencies, is absolutely second to none. I know that. Field Marshal Sarat Fonseca knows that, and several others know that too. I know that from personal experience. They're excellent. And I can't thank the doctors and the nursing staff and the support staff who work in the national hospitals right across our country. I can't thank them enough for the dedicated service that they do. And I think on behalf of our program, I'd like to say a very big thank you to everybody, because they're doing such a wonderful, wonderful service, and may God bless each and everyone involved in the healthcare industry in Sri Lanka, where especially the ones in the national service, because that is truly, truly an enormously wonderful job they're doing, and more so during these very critical times indeed. So thank you, and God bless all of you for doing that and taking care of our country. Dr. Samantha, so people, when they're taken to the infectious diseases hospital and so on, is it true that they're all kept in one ward?
Yeah, it's like this. Now, may I add something
Please.
before this to your this thing? Actually, though we talk many negatives, what is happening at the moment, when we are pointing out to correct them, of course, but we need to talk the positives,
Of
as
course.
you thanked us, we should thank you all. The media is acting very responsibly, and they really helping the health sector, and to give the correct information at the correct time. They rely on the experts. They always refer to the experts, get the expert opinion, and put it in a way that the citizens can understand. I think you all have dedicated your time, the prime time, and so on, leaving the commercial side aside, has taken this as a responsibility. So we are very proud of that. And on the other hand, the citizens, most of the citizens are acting very responsibly. So we should thank them giving us the support to function this effectively. So therefore, I should add that part as well, because we as a team are working towards a common goal, which is all at this moment to protect this country. All of us have one aim, that is to protect the country. So I should thank all of the media and the citizens for collaborating effectively with us in this game. And now when I come to your question, there is a way that we handle these situations. Like if we find somebody who's at risk,
Yeah.
or any distance or any contacts, we put them for quarantining. And in the quarantine center, we are closely monitoring, and if we find anybody who has symptoms and positive, we send them to the wards. Wards, of course, made in such a way that they don't, they have kept in accepted distances, and most of them are isolated to protect them, others getting infected, the other patients,
Yes.
as well as the healthcare workers.
Don't we have facilities to have each of them in incubation in a separate room?
That is, of course, IDH, we have around 13 or 14 rooms like that. I don't think that is possible in Sri Lanka, because our system,
too little, way too little.
exactly, because our infrastructure is not made in such a way where we can keep patients in rooms, There are wards, I am sure you must have seen. So, but it's not a big problem, because we maintain the certain guidelines which is based on scientific data. So therefore, I don't think.
How much do you think a room will cost? A room enough for one person to keep them?
You mean the size of the room or
The costs? How much?
Well,
A room, a basic room, but to keep them in isolation. I have a point I'm trying to make, and I need to know that cost.
well, I can't tell you the exact cost, because we have
But
not.
about?
When it comes to
100,000, 200,000?
I think bit more than that.
Bit more than that.
Bit more than that. And not only that, the human resources and the other logistics, there is other resources we have made in such a way to function in open wards.
If I was say to you,
Yes.
if I said to you now, Doctor, here is a check for 8,500 million rupees, 8.5 billion with a B, would that help?
To give you a room.
No. If I get to you 8,500 million rupees,
Yes.
would that help in upping the national health service in Sri Lanka?
No, even if you put T
It's not
instead
enough.
of B,
Still not enough.
it will not be enough, because there are so many things to do. So therefore, it's a gradual process, and so many things to consider.
I was
So
only
therefore,
trying to
not
tell-
only the money, of course.
Right. I was only trying to say to you, to point out that in the infamous bond scam, 8,500 million plus rupees was lost by the EPF, which is the public's monies, and it was lost to the benefit of a very few capitalists seated in Colombo.
Yeah.
That's the point.
With your point, I agree. Like, if government provides us more money, we will make. Now, if you take our figures, the indices are very high. We are very close to Western figures.
Yeah.
If now we are getting only 2 to 3% of the GDP to the health sector, if you stop these corruptions, and if you really divert this money towards,
The benefit to the country.
we will make the difference. We will surprise the world to have the best health care in this country, because with this minimum amount of money allocated to health sector, we are doing wonders. If you can inflow a little bit more, we really can create a wonderful country here, and probably we can boost this health tourism and earn money to the country.
Maybe more and more of Sri Lanka's corporates need to take on board, even if it's as part of their CSR project, if they were to try and help, using their CSR projects, the health sector in this country will be all well sorted. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, because now if we talk about these things now, see, the CSR projects that companies are doing, so many, I respect those projects, but at the same time, if you really analyze and see, the things that they are doing, the long-term effects and the outcomes, do they really have a...
So it must be more focused.
I think yes, and good for the country at the end of the day, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Samantha Ananda, thank you ever so much for coming here with us and sharing that information. Thank you for the appreciation of the work that the media is doing. And thank you for that very subtle but important point that you made, which is that we have done it without looking at our commercial benefits and the commercial side of things. And I know that there's a whole lot of people down in the hub who will agree and say that this is why the bottom line is, we haven't looked at that, you're right. And thank you for recognizing that very important point. What do you think? How many months, this whole thing? 1, 2, 3 months?
Well, if you act correctly, I'm sure within one to half months we can control this.
1.5 months.
1.5 months, because as we know that the incubation period is 2 weeks, and if you take the latest infections patient, we within 2 weeks, if we can control these clusters which is appearing in the community now, if we can control them, I'm sure that controlling this disease won't be a problem. So therefore, 1.5 months, if you act correctly, timely, with responsibility and the collective measures, I'm sure it is not a difficult thing to make, control. China did it, Singapore did it, South Korea did it, why not Sri Lanka?
And President Nandasena Gotabaya Rajapaksa will be addressing the nation tonight at 8 p.m. Tune in, you can listen to what our President has to say. Dr. Samantha, thank you ever so much. Thank you. And good luck with all that you are doing to help not only the country but the world.
Yes, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, and I think we should thank on behalf of the nation for educating them, giving us the opportunity to give the correct information to the public, and therefore I think we will be continuously doing this job until we defeat Corona.
Thank you. That's the way it was on Newsline Live. Take care, have a great day ahead, and don't worry. God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.